Hi, this is Dana. Uh, Welcome on my channel where I speak about spiritual warfare. In this video, I will take further the topic of Dark Night of the Soul. And God is guiding me to give a few details about how it looks. Essentially, it is a totally different paradigm. Um, while you go through the dark night of the soul, you obviously do a lot of spiritual fighting on an entirely different dimension, and you must correlate to divine logic. That is the only thing that gets you through it, because otherwise it seems a world of madness, complete madness. It's the worst experience of astral possible, but you must keep in mind that your divine team of guides, of course, and God will always be next to you to guide you, to give you hints, and so on. In order to carry on the fight, though, you must change the paradigm in which you are thinking, acting, and how you relate to others. You must dissociate between the 4D attacks, which are specific to Dark Night of the Soul, which is a step in your spiritual elevation, and on the other hand, the targeted individual programs and attacks, the gang stalking, which are done by humans. So there are two different type of attacks. You will encounter attacks done by humans, uh, uh, and attacks done by dark forces. Those done by humans are targeted individual programs I explained in the previous video. They essentially want to prevent you from successfully getting through Dark Night of the Soul, because this would give you access to your divine rights, your divine ranking, and so on, which goes against their interest as they stole those from you. You must learn about yourself while you do the spiritual fighting, right? You must learn about your gifts, your ranking, the purpose why you came here. You must do a lot of ancestral healing. That means going back into previous lifetimes, previous incarnations or embodiments, where your soul embodied maybe in different type of forms, and you must heal whatever bondage was created on that timing. This is in addition to what I said in the previous video, right, where I talk about the energy cleanup which you have to do constantly. The ancestral healing is the one who helps you understand the current attacks which you are facing and helps you unlock different stages of your spiritual journey through the dark night of the soul. You must change the paradigm of your thinking according to divine logic, and I'll give just a few examples because you're acting in a totally different area. And it's not only astral, but it's the darkest form of astral, because people have a very wrong perception of astral, just a place where you play along, you do projections and astral traveling and so on. But the dark night of the soul exposes you to attacks from underworld, and it will be a learning journey for you. You will learn knowledge which probably nobody else has, which later on you'll be able to share with others to help others go through that, as I am doing now. But you must know that it's very painful experience to gain that knowledge. So, for example, a change of paradigm, aligning yourself with divine logic would be for you to look at money in different light. While you go through this spiritual journey, many times 3D possessions bring with them so much darkness attachments that are a threat to your life. So I gave example in a previous video. While I was in my spiritual journey, God was telling me any possession of money brings so much spirit attachments attack at you that essentially you will not be able to survive. So sometimes he will tell me, there's a death spell made on your money, you must spend them immediately. um, in 3D, human logic doesn't make sense because you need those money to continue your travel. But from a divine logic, You must follow guidance and spend them, knowing that you will have resources provided to you, different type of resources. But you must follow your divine logic, divine guidance that you receive. For example, punishment. You will think, as you will go through very traumatic experiences, you would think, like I said many times, I said, I would like this individual who's sending this to me to feel exactly how I feel now, to go through the same experience. And God explained to me, um, it's not possible, because you and that individual have entirely different values. For example, that individual is pursuing very aggressive sex magic attacks at you. You, because you're pure and you like purity and you're spiritual being, fight against it. Now, if we return this to them, they don't mind getting along in any kind of sexual encounters or experiences or perversions. For them, this is not a punishment. Remember, they are creating this with their own free will. So, this is not a punishment if this goes back to them. It could be a punishment if the dark forces which they send will get back to him. But essentially, you must understand that it's a different logic. For example, another example of different logic related to things that you encounter in this spiritual journey is um, victory. I'll give you one example. My father doesn't know much about spiritual fighting, right? And of course, I asked God, okay, how can I help him? Because he's not aware of all of this that is being done, and he doesn't understand it. And he's at an age where he's not even that anxious to learn about it. And God showed me, you must ask, you must help him by divine grace. For him, at this stage in his life, is the only way you can help him elevate with you, so you won't leave him behind. And divine grace essentially means ask him for help. And I did at some point. I asked him for help. And in spite of my father not understanding, he's my adoptive father, not understanding anything from the spiritual fighting which I'm carrying on, my father said, you know, you're my child. And even if you're my adopted child, you're my only child, and I love you so much that I will support you and help you in all you do, even if I don't understand it. And God said, because He's providing you help, uh, uh, so you can carry on your fight, I will give divine grace to him. And the darkness which normally he should have transmuted through spiritual fighting, I will transmute that darkness from him through divine grace which I give him for the generosity he showed in supporting you throughout this period. So you can carry on your journey, and so you can achieve more victory in your spiritual fighting. So you see, I was asking for help, my father, you know, but in fact, I was asking him for help in order so I can help him. I hope you understand the difference, right? So it's an entirely different logic, and it will be revealed to you by your divine team how this works in your particular case, because most of spiritual fighting is tailored on you. This is a highly spiritual timing, and you will encounter spirits and dark forces, demons, in a way which is really traumatic. And it makes it harder, of course, that there's much gang stalking and targeted individual attacks, which are carried on by individuals who want to make it harder for you. But you must withdraw in solitude, and don't expect validation from others around you, because many of them haven't been exposed to this and they don't have ability to understand. And also, it is a test. It will be revealed to you from everyone around you, including family, who is standing by your side, even if they don't understand what is going on. Like I gave the example of my father. It's entirely different story with my mother, for example, who doesn't have the same approach as my father. So this is why I say this is a test as well for those around you, and you must withdraw in solitude because you cannot afford making the effort to explain to others. And because you must go within to get divine guidance, you must go within in order to have high energy awareness, to cut strings with everyone, so you can actually stay in your own light, fighting the darkness being sent to you. Otherwise, the strings put on by others, it will be just too much. You must learn to let go of people, things, and places. You must learn to not cling on anything that is from 3D. You might be forced to leave your house, to give up your possessions, to leave your job, to face a lot of uncertainty, where your next income will come. And these individuals who do targeted individuals attacks at you will make their most possible in order to make this hard for you and to strip you from all support in terms of resources. But you must follow the divine guidance. And in my case, I left my house many times, and simply because there was too much dark work done on my house, too much black magic done on my house. I couldn't stay in my house. When this started, I after I would stay 5 minutes, I would literally black out because of so many spirit attacks, sorcery, and black magic that was done on my house. So I had for a few months. Actually, I slept in my car, out far away from my house, near a special spiritual place where there was a possibility for me to clean that energy faster. Then, of course, I left my house for a full year during my spiritual journey. And so there are many situations in which it's very bizarre because, of course, I'm owner. My house is my own, and it's empty. It's just me and my dog living in my house. So nobody. I didn't depend on anyone. I could come at home anytime I pleased. But if you want to fight the type of attacks being sent, sometimes you will have to leave your home. And in spite of being owner of your own home, you will live a life of a homeless person for a while until you actually succeed of breaking that, and until you learn the proper knowledge to clean up that, because much of it can be fought if you have the proper knowledge, right? And this is why you must go in solitude and keep contact with divine realm so you can actually learn how to fight it back. You must work with your gifts in all this time. You must recreate yourself, understand what gifts you have. New gifts will be activated by God on you, as targeted individual programs and gag stalking groups will unleash at you different type of attacks. God will activate gifts on you which maybe you were not supposed to have from the beginning, but He will activate whatever gifts you need to be able to fight it. So you must trust God and follow God, because He will get you through it. He will get you through it. You must recreate yourself. Um, you because you must create a new life for yourself. You won't fit in back in the 3D where you were before. Um, and you must work with your gifts so you can actually recreate a purpose for you, a career, if you want, in 3D terms. I would say a purpose. And throughout all this, you must know that the way out of this madness is elevating, fighting, spiritual fighting, gaining rights back, activating gifts, healing energy, and taking new ranking position, elevating essentially. This is the only way out of 4D. Okay, so you must keep on fighting. You must redefine expectations. For example, while you're doing all this fighting, you gain divine rights back, which were blocked from you. But those will not come to you immediately while you're doing this spiritual fighting, because it will bring too much darkness, too more attacks. And this is Dark Night of the Soul. It has already enough attacks and darkness in it, so you cannot bring more possessions. As you finish doing this spiritual fighting, as you finish the Dark Night of the Soul and you come out of 4D, the 3D resources will come to you, and it will come multiplied according to your new ranking according to your new position, elevated compared to initial one when you started the fighting. Um, so to give you an example, while I was doing this fighting, God was showing me, today you gained this: a house, a car, career, so many other things He would show me. But I will keep them for you, and I will give them all to you when you finish the fighting. Because if I give them now, it will destroy you. Because more spiritual attacks will be attached to you. If they send, for example, to your property a number, if they send demons, the smaller your property is, the better it is. The bigger your property is, the more demons come. God has shown me this. And He said, you cannot move into a bigger house now. You need to finish this. And when you finish this, you have the exact house which you requested. But you must finish here, because if you move now in the house which you want, then the attacks will be too strong and you will not be able to finish the fighting. You will gradually get your resources in 3D, the ones that you won through your spiritual fighting, and you will be an entirely different person when you come out of this. But you must keep your faith and determination to fight through it, and to learn all of this, and to work with your gifts. Because as you work with your gifts, first of all, it's a way of claiming them, a way of showing entitlement and determination of who you are. Because initially they will do a lot of slander, and they would do a lot of gossip. They would say she or he is crazy. What does she mean she can't speak with God? This is madness. She should be locked up. She has a demon possession. No, it's not true. They know very well that I was clearly speaking to God, and they were actually in shock when I would write prophetic writings of describing how they created specific attacks, and they kept asking, how does she know? How does she know this? How does she know? And I actually wrote in my prophetic writings, God is telling this to me. God is telling this to me and is showing me so I can fight. This is how I know. But what I mean is that a lot of slander, a lot of persecution will be carried out against you, because this is to break your spirit. It's a psychological warfare to break your spirit and to make you give up, and at least to lower your vibration so you won't be able to manifest, if not more. Because if they lower your vibration, they can do gang stalking on you, because you come at their vibration low. But if you work with your gifts and you keep your faith and determination, you do energy cleanup and all of this that I have said, and stay in solitude, and cut off connections with people who do not serve you because they only bring darkness to you and so on, then you elevate. And by elevating, they're not able to reach you anymore. This is why they are so determined and doing so much slander, so much persecution, so many smearing campaigns, and so on. Many of them are even I don't know how to say, are embarrassing, because they're so stupid and so against the reality, which is very easy to prove. But they just they are the bullying type, which they hope that they get to intimidate you, and they hope that by the a higher number of individuals who say the same thing, you will give up on your truth. But you will not, because this is why you're doing the spiritual fighting. You will stay in your truth and in your faith in God, and you will continue your fighting. And I promise you, at the end of it, you will come out a different person, with a different understanding, with a purpose, with numerous ways to pursue different type of careers, and I'm pretty sure that you will be happy with the choices you made. I will stop here because I think I spoke. I think I gave enough guidance and examples. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. I will be happy to answer. I will see if God is guiding me to do another video on this. So far, this is the second video on the Dark Night of the Soul. uh, I got the feeling that God wants me to do a third one. I'm not sure what about. But in any case, I ask you to please watch both videos because they're complementary, and each of them describes different issues, which are all of them vital. so you can go through it. Please check out my Facebook page. There's almost 400 prophetic writings I did throughout my entire spiritual fighting, throughout my own experience and spiritual journey. And in there, I go more in details in describing how you fight specific type of attacks. Is It's much easier in writing than on video. Please like and subscribe to my channel, so we'll make sure that the divine guidance which I'm sharing and which is authentic guidance received by me in my spiritual journey from God, Jesus, and my divine guides reaches as many people as possible. It really might save lives. It might be that someone is struggling with this, and it is really traumatic in the beginning, especially as you start seeing and hearing and speaking with an entirely different dimension of astral. So please make sure that you help this information reach all those who are in need for it.